All right, you guys, so I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into 009 and who he is before First Light releases. Now, we talked a little bit about the connection between Greenway and 009. That is important because I think that those two definitely have a shared history and it's going to play a major role in the video game 007 First Light. But I want to dive into who he really is and maybe the history that we have available to us based on the novels, based on the movies, and everything else that we can get our hands on. Now, it's very difficult to find more information on 009 because he's not really an agent who's been used a lot or even mentioned a lot in the novels or in the films. Now, again, this is based off research that I had to do online. So if I get something wrong, please correct me and state the right thing. But according to what I found in the original James Bond novels written by Ian Fleming, Agent 009 isn't mentioned all that much. Fleming never develops the character fully or gives him a full arc. He doesn't give him a first name. He really just uses him as small mentions for background development. One of the important things about 009 being mentioned in the novels was that it creates the understanding that there are more 00 operatives out there within MI6. Now, in the novel Thunderball, which released in 1961, it explains that Agent 009 was killed in Berlin. He was murdered while carrying out duty within the city. And once again, this establishes that there are more 00s out there besides James Bond. It's not just James Bond. And I know we concentrate on him and he's the main one that we follow. And sometimes it may feel like he's the only one that's out there, but there's not. There's a larger group of 00 agents out there, 006, 008, 009, and so forth. Now, in the film Octopussy from Roger Moore's James Bond, 009 does make an appearance at the beginning of the film. The film portrays him as an active field agent who is severely wounded and killed after escaping from East Berlin dressed as a circus clown. And he was dressed as a clown to infiltrate East Berlin and steal very important material. Now, that really is like the main stuff that we have regarding 009 and his history. So it's not that much. And I think this is very interesting for IO Interactive because they basically have a 00 agent here with minimal history that they can turn and use this history and create this history as they see fit. They could create this 009 agent to be like maybe 006 was in GoldenEye, or you could have this 00 agent teach Bond something, or like we mentioned in our previous episode of 007, this agent could show Bond what could happen to him if he decides to go a different path. It could be like a mirrored version of Bond if things go different, right? This could be something big, and I think 009 has a lot of ways to expand, and because the lore is so limited, IO Interactive is going to tell us a lot about this character himself. Now, what we do know is that 009 has basically gone rogue from MI6 and from the 00 program. He was part of the program before it shut down, so he was part of the original 00 program, again, alongside John Greenway. Now, one of the theories that I kind of have in my head is that I think 009 was responsible for the closure of the original 00 program. I think he did something. I think he was responsible for something big that caused the entire program to get shut down, and that's when 009 went rogue. And with the program coming back, 009 is still out there and he needs to be stopped. Now, I do believe that one of the first missions in 007 First Light has James Bond go after 009, but it ends in tragedy according to what the PlayStation blog says. It actually reads right here. When a mission to stop a rogue agent, 009, ends in tragedy, he must join forces with his reluctant mentor, Greenway, to expose a deep conspiracy and stop a looming coup at the heart of the estate. So something here is going on, and I think when you talk about a looming coup, 009 escaping, I think 009 wants to come into the 00 program and maybe take over it, maybe destroy them again from the inside, destroy the whole MI6 from the inside, and I think that's going to be something big that 009 is going to be responsible for. He's going to use all of the resources that he has to try to destroy MI6 from within. And I think that some of the people that we meet in 007 that are on our side, supposedly, they may turn out to be villains secretly working for 009. So I think this is really cool because Bond right now is young. He's unproven. He's still learning his craft. 009 is the complete opposite. He's experienced. He's been there for years. He's been there for a long long time, and he can maybe influence Bond, right? There's this big conspiracy that's going on within MI6, within Double O, within the Double O program. And Bond's mentor, Greenway, has some sort of connection with 009, and 009 could use that to maybe pin Greenway and Bond against each other in some way. So I think this is going to be maybe a battle of the minds almost. This is going to be where James Bond really needs to toughen up, and this is going to make James Bond, put him on the road of becoming the James Bond that we all know because of his interactions with 009. And I think that 009 is going to take a toll emotionally and is going to be the biggest challenge that 007 has ever faced up to this point. So I think that is really, really, really cool. I think 009 is going to be the main and the true antagonist for the game, and I think his identity is going to be something that shocks us. And there's actually this crazy theory, I think, and I haven't gone deep into it, but instead of Greenway and 009 being connected, maybe Greenway in some way is behind 009 doing everything that he's done. So, I mean, it can get really crazy, but this is some of the details, some of the hidden history behind 009 and what I could muster up. If there's more stuff out there, please let me know down in the comments below. Let's have a discussion. Let's talk a little bit more about it and explore 009, because I am getting more and more excited by the day about 007 First Light.